President Kiir urges the new governor of Central Equatorial State to serve with integrity and fairness. HIV and AIDS Commission steps up efforts to combat stigma and discrimination against people living with the disease. And authorities in northern Bahr Ghazal State inaugurate water facility in a wheel center. It is 18th of June 2025 and welcome you to SSBC 8 p.m. News. I am Akuch Maker and we begin tonight's newscast with a story from the State House where President Salva Kiir Mayardit has urged the newly appointed governor of Central Equatorial State, Rabbi Mujuk Emmanuel, to serve with integrity and fairness while working to preserve national unity. The president made the remarks during the governor's swearing-in ceremony held on Wednesday. SSBC's Alejandro Lotok reports.
President Salva Kiir Mayardit has called on Governor Rabbi Mujuk Emmanuel to prioritize the interest of the people of Central Equatoria through honest leadership and collaboration. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony in Juba, the president emphasized the importance of working closely with security agencies to ensure lasting peace and stability in the state, especially in the capital, Juba.
Your appointment is a call to serve all the people of Central Equatoria with integrity and fairness. This is a responsibility to unite our people and rise above tribal politics and personal interests.
On the social front, President Kiir cautioned against ethnic divisions and called on the citizens to embrace unity in diversity for a peaceful and harmonious society.
I hereby direct you to give immediate attention to the following: security and safety. You must work closely with the national government, national security agencies to protect lives and property. The people living in Central Equatoria must feel safe regardless of their background, tribe or political views.
Turning to infrastructure, the president tasked the new governor with addressing Juba's deteriorating road network. He highlighted that improved infrastructure is critical for development and better service delivery.
I also urge you to work closely with the Ministry of Roads and Bridges to fix internal roads that are in a very poor condition. Equal land allocation in Juba. Juba as a capital city is becoming smaller to the inhabitants. Therefore, I urge you to avail land to the growing population of Juba, for example, investors and government institutions.
In response, Governor Rabbi Mujuk Emmanuel pledged to implement the president's directives, saying he is ready to work towards peace, development and unity in Central Equatoria.
And I humbly appeal and will continue to seek for your wisdom, guidance, urgent contribute to address the following challenges. 1. To address the issues of peace and security in Central Equatorial State. 2. Rejuvenate SPLM in the state and supervise its activities in preparation for the general election. To address the menace of the economic crisis through agriculture to reduce the gap of food insecurity.
Meanwhile, leaders from the Nyangwara community have welcomed the appointment, expressing their appreciation to President Kiir. They urged the new governor to unify the people and serve all communities within the state.
نقول مبروك إحنا كلنا خلفك ولد بتاعنا إن شاء الله ما هيخزلك. سنترال إكواتوريا ده أو ساوث السودان. Honorable Mujuk أنت جاي مش لسنترال إكواتوريا. أنت جاي لساوث السودان عديل. ده وصية بتاعي لك قدام رئيس. إحنا دايرين leadership بتاعك كله يكون عنده wisdom قوي عشان يشيل جنوبين كله في سنترال إكواتوريا هنا في جوبا بيدك العشرة.
أنا عايزين نشكرك للفرصة اللي توديت لرابي مجون عشان يكون حاكم بتاع الولاية السورية الوسطى. أنا عايزين نشكرك لخدمات اللي تقدر تقدم لجنوب السودان ولحزب بتاعنا كحركة شعبية بصفة عامة. أخو بتاع رابي أنا رسالت لك واحد بس. اتخاذ القرار في وقت متبكر ما بيساعدك. اتخاذ قرار في وقت متفكر بيساعدك. تجاي في موقف بتاع قرارات اللي عايزك تكون عندك صبر وصدرك واسع عشان ما تقدر تقدم خدمات للناس بتاع جنوب السودان في Central Equatorial State.
Governor Mujuk now begins his term with the weight of high expectations and a clear mandate from the president, one focused on unity, security, and equitable development. Alejandro Loto.
Lieutenant General Rambi Mujung Emmanuel has officially assumed his new assignment as Governor of Central Equatorial State. Stewart Abugo has more in this story.
Lieutenant General Rabi Mujung Emmanuel officially assumed the governorship of Central Equatorial State on Wednesday, stepping into a role burdened by high expectations for improved security, economic stability, and unity in a region crucial to South Sudan's fragile peace. Mujung's inauguration at the State Secretariat in Juba drew a diverse gathering, including high-ranking national government officials, members of his state cabinet, and influential traditional and religious leaders. In his inaugural remarks, Governor Mujung signaled a commitment to continuity in governance while emphasizing a renewed focus on social cohesion.
Infrastructure development such as health, education, and major issues that demand our immediate and sustained attention. Our respected citizens are really looking forward to us to deliver these essential services, and this is a responsibility of my government. Let us set aside our differences and work together in unity and harmony.
The outgoing governor, Jadala Agustino, in a symbolic transfer of authority, pledged his full support to Mujung, underscoring the critical task ahead.
And I want to assure you, you have elite ministers. They will help you. You have elite advisors. And we have a great assembly. Our assembly is very strong. I will pledge to support you through this transition. If there is need, I'm ready.
Nas bitana der salam or der yebda intaj asan bele dem sigida ya komere rabi mata sub jede intagal gabilia de jua junub bes maf hatta Central Equatorial zatu fi gabilia nina der malaika kelija asan nijibu zor albesub nasi Central Equatorial kullu min kullu gabila sawa sawa okususu na manyeji fi furas lazim nina bekatulu gabilia.
Echoing the sentiment for effective governance, Central Equatorial State Deputy Governor Paulino Lukudo Obede stressed the vital role of youth unity in national development.
Wanagule shabab bitana alsalu silati da dawla talu wara nebni dawla aljudud bitana wa buhat bitana shakir ashano khalina narja asa nebni albalad da if we contribute manasa derine demir balad da gadina demir almustaqbal bita shabab when we contribute للناس دارين يبني بلد ده أننا بنبني لمستقبل برضو بتاع شباب خيار بتاع شباب.
Peter Wane Elia, Speaker of the Central Equatorial State Legislative Assembly, directly urged Governor Mujung to prioritize both unity and transparency throughout his tenure.
أهم شيء نحن عاوزين وحدة في الصفوف بتاعنا كابناء بتاع ولاية الاستوائية الوسطى. نحن عاوزين شفافية.
Governor Mujung stepped into office at a critical juncture for Central Equatorial State, facing significant anticipation to deliver on his pledges of stability and advancement. For SSBC News, Stewart Abugola Suba report.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mandes Maya Kumba, and Director General for International Organization and Nuclear Affairs, San Ching, discussed enhancing bilateral cooperation between the government and the organization. The meeting also viewed the current situation in the country. Minister Kumba emphasizes government's commitment to working closely with international partners on issues of joint concern. The United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, expresses interest to continue collaborating with the government of South Sudan, particularly in the agriculture sector. This follows a meeting between the UNOPS Director for the Horn of Africa, Gonet, and the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hussein Abdelbagi, a call in Juba on Wednesday, focusing on the organization's potential areas of collaboration with the ministry.
Discussed on the potential areas of collaboration and how we can potentially support each other in making the life of the South Sudanese different going forward. So I'm happy we've lined out on areas of.
And now we are going for a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Welcome back from that short break. In a related development, the National Minister of Agriculture and Food Security met with a delegation from South Korea contingent at the United Nations mission in South Sudan on Wednesday. The meeting focused on technical cooperation and transfer of technological knowledge through training program and collaboration with domestic agricultural institutions. Addressing the meeting, Minister Hussein Abdelbagi Akol acknowledges the South Korea's support to the South Sudan, urging for extension of technical support to major agricultural gazette in the country. The head of delegation assured the government's continued technical support to the ministry.
And also we want the South Korean also to come and invest in South Sudan, in the area of agriculture. Like now we have 17 national projects. During our struggle, they are not functioning any longer, and we want them to be rehabilitated so that they can come on performance. Now we are concentrating on substantive agriculture, but we want to move to mechanization and smart farming, and we will benefit from South Korea to transfer their knowledge so that we can also implement them in South Sudan.
점진적으로 발전할 수 있는 방안을 리더십들에게 잘 전달하도록 하겠습니다.
So the technical cooperation that has been mentioned by Honorable Minister of the Ministry of the Agriculture and Food Security, we are going to go back to the Seoul and then talk to the leadership, and then we are going to formulate the
Abiy Minister of Agriculture, Forestry and Livestock, Kokbol Bulabek, raised concerns over challenges facing livestock in the area. Bol raised the concern during a meeting with the National Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Onyoti Adigo, in Juba on Wednesday. Speaking to the media, the ministry's Director for Veterinary Services, Dr. Agul Malek, says the meeting deliberated on ways of improving the livestock sector in Abiy administrative area.
Honorable Onyoti and Honorable Cook, I discuss and share the challenges that Abiy administrative is facing in areas of animal health, capacity building and fisheries development in Abiy. And we accepted to continue discussing and work together in order to overcome those challenges. So Abiy is not in isolation. It's part of South Sudan and is facing the same problem that other states and administrative areas are facing.
Come and share with the National Minister of Livestock and Fisheries some challenges which we are facing in Abiy. And I thank them a lot because they have received me well and share all the issues. And it was a fruitful meeting with the Honorable Minister. Of course, the challenges are huge, but it is general. It's huge at the level of national government. But
Parliamentary Women Caucus and the United Nations Development Programme vow to achieve significant progress in gender equality and development. This came during the closing of a meeting focusing on the impact of the extension of the transitional period on women leadership, organized by the National Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare. The ministry's Undersecretary Esther Ikere urges women leaders and other gender-responsive champions to help resolve women concerns on various aspects, including leadership. The chairperson of the Women Parliamentary Caucus in the revitalized National Transitional Legislative Assembly, Fiona Samuel, affirms the Assembly's commitment to promoting gender equality. The UNDP representative Natasha Kunama, who is the project manager and program advisor, stresses the need to provide technical support, resources, and strengthen women's capacity to integrate gender perspectives into policies, programs, and institutional practices.
We value the work that we have done, providing us information, data analysis, but comprehensively giving us recommendations that will guide our programming, but at the same time, that will help us to be able to shape the policies that we're developing in the country on women's participation and leadership. So I want extension. The transitional period has presented both opportunities and setbacks for women in leadership in South Sudan. While this period provides more time to influence structural reforms and ensure inclusivity, it is risks depending marginalization if decisive actions is not taken. Today, the message is very clear for us, the women of South Sudan. The message is women must not be left behind in political process. Meaningful participation goes beyond token representation. It means women being at the decision-making tables with voice, power, and agency. The extension of transitional period must be leveraged as a strategic window to strengthen legal reforms, invest in leadership development, and ensure accountability for gender commitment.
So we need to take advantage of this time and to continue to gather here or somewhere else, but to gather together and discuss the recommendations that came out of this discussion. The project that has been supporting this event is still going to continue to support such events going forward for the rest of 2025. As a way forward, we're looking towards having
Government praises China for supporting South Sudan, particularly the education sector. The Undersecretary of the Ministry of General Education and Instruction, Kachwal Mabil Pyok, made the statement during a training program on developing quality education organized by the Chinese government. Representatives from the 10 state and 3 administrative areas attended the training in Shanghai, China.
We have come out from a conversation, a very big conversation, where presenters presented and speakers spoke, and it was about how to entertain news and entertainments, businesses, business to business, using new platforms. And the platforms here are those that can make it easy for human to get what it needs. For all walks of life, we have come here to talk about or listen to the skilled people who are trying to change.
South Sudan delegation to Russia International Economic Forum, headed by the Undersecretary for Telecommunications, Thomas Gatquoth, arrived in St. Petersburg ahead of the official launch of the forum on Thursday. The delegation, comprising the Director General of the National Communication Authority, Secretary General of the Universal Service and Access Fund, and the Managing Director of the Media Authority, will be in St. Petersburg for a week to discuss and learn from the Russian experience on investing in mineral and ICT technologies. Speaking on Wednesday after a session on global challenges and perspectives of online platforms in the era of digital transformation, engineer Thomas Gatquoth says they discussed with Russian experts on how the existing platforms and technologies could be replaced to effect positive changes in government policies and businesses. The delegation is expected to have sideline meetings at the margin of the forum with Russian entrepreneurs and relevant government institutions.
Also take this opportunity to appreciate our two governments for the robust cooperation that is helping both countries to attain a significant level of economic development. China is the leading importer of South Sudan's oil and also the largest investor in South Sudan oil sector. Thus, expanding this cooperation to sectors like education, infrastructure, and health make this cooperation more people-centered. This ministerial workshop on high-quality development of basic education is happening at the right time. It will go a long way to sustain the gains in terms of investment that have been made in South Sudan by China. Let us therefore see this.
And now going for another break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. Now to proceed with our news bulletin. The South Sudan HIV and AIDS Commission, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Program, has intensified its effort to enhance access to justice and combat the persistent stigma and discrimination faced by individuals living with HIV and AIDS. A 3-day training of trainers aimed to strengthen participants' understanding of legal and human rights issues related to HIV and AIDS. We have the report.
In a renewed push to address the growing challenge of HIV and AIDS-related stigma and discrimination across the country, the South Sudan HIV and AIDS Commission, in partnership with UNDP, has launched a major initiative aimed at expanding legal support services for the people living with the virus. The program brings together legal practitioners, healthcare workers, government officials, and representatives from civil society and non-governmental organizations. Its goal is to tackle the legal and human rights challenges associated with HIV and AIDS. In his opening remarks, Dr. Justin Kawaj Makwe, South Sudan HIV and AIDS Commission chairperson, called on all stakeholders, government institutions, development partners, and communities to unite in raising public awareness and fighting stigma. He emphasized that ending discrimination is essential to controlling and eventually eradicating the pandemic.
Let's come short of asking from authority nothing short of criminalizing stigma against people living with HIV/AIDS. Let's make HIV/AIDS a topic of discussion again. Let's catch up with the rest of the world. There are things that are unheard of in those sides of the world where I've lived that are still with us here in South Sudan. Things like vertical transmission, things like stigma, the issue of HIV being a taboo, not being acceptable to be discussed in front of people. The HIV/AIDS Commission in the States are the engine. If we are going to fight stigma, if we are going to fight for the justice of people living with HIV/AIDS.
Dr. Mariel Chuerkoch, Director General for Program Coordination at the Commission, described the training as critical step toward empowering legal professionals to provide meaningful and accessible legal services for those living with HIV and AIDS.
This time, as the Commission have started to train you, you are now trained as trainers. So you will pick the event. When you go back to your state, and you will be the one training your colleague at the front level. Your interventions in respective states are implemented.
Representing the participants, Moreno Michael Sabit, chairpersons of the Central Equatorial State HIV and AIDS Commission, highlighted the importance of programs and the need for sustained advocacy.
These events of today, organized by National AIDS Commission, is very, very important. So they brought all these 10 state chairpersons. The first agenda, so that we can know each other, 10 chairpersons in the 10 states. And then the main important thing is access to justice. Access to justice. الزول المصاب ده برضه لازم يلقى عدالة، يلقى عدالة صحيحة، عدالة قانونية. لأن بنلقى لأن الزول زي برضه في ناس يدو discrimination، يدو stigma، يقول أنت مصاب، يدو كراهية، فعشان كده هو عنده حق زي إنسان، فعشان كده أو واجب الأولاني مننا نديه شنو؟ نديه احترام الكامل. واليوم ده بتاعت الليلة ده هو يوم مهم جدا. For those who are outside also, we also encourage them that also they have to also separate the message outside. At the end of the day, we need at least to reduce the rate of HIV.
The National Election Commission officials briefed students at the University of Juba on the Commission's mandate as the country prepares for the 2026 elections. The one-day lecture also aimed at enlightening the students on the role they would play in the upcoming elections. The Commission spokesperson, George Lemmy, explains the role of the Commission based on the provisions of the revitalized peace agreement.
The Commission is independent from government, state official, political parties, candidates, and any other person or body. The Election Commission is not a political institution. The mandate of the Commission, you have the revitalized agreement on the resolution of conflict in South Sudan, RRCs 2018 as amended, Transitional Constitution of South Sudan 2012 as amended, National Election Act 2012 as amended 2020.
Warabi State Governor Bolwek Agoth met with the Deputy Special Representatives of the UN Secretary General for Political Affairs, Gwakong, on Wednesday. In a statement, Ambassador Bol added that the UNMISS has pledged to supporting programs aimed at promoting peace in the state. Gwakong assured UNMISS commitment to supporting peace initiatives in the state.
I was impressed that he's aware of what is happening in Warab, and he assured me of the support to conduct peaceful disarmament. He has assured me that he will support my collective approach to strengthen justice and law and order by engaging all the stakeholders, the traditional leadership, the politicians, all social groups, young and old, to bring peace and security in Warabi states.
Warabi states is facing, and also explores ways how we can work together to address those challenges. We also discussed about how to ensure the peaceful voluntary disarmament will achieve its intended purpose so that weapons will be collected from the hands of civilians. I assured His Excellency, the Ambassador of Food.
Authorities in northern Bahr Ghazal state inaugurated water facilities as a part of UNMISS Quick Impact Project for returnees and displaced persons at Bar Nyuwing settlement in Awil Center County. Addressing the event, the State Minister of Animal Resources and Fisheries, Peter Dun Akot, who represented the governor at the ceremony, expresses gratitude to the United Nations mission in South Sudan for supporting the project aimed at fulfilling urgent community needs. UNMISS Field Officer Alfred Zuzu reiterated unwavering commitment to the government, adding the project is part of the UN social corporate responsibility. Members in the Transitional National Legislative Assembly from PG County in Jonglei State visit the areas to assess the humanitarian situation and development programs. The state government has offered to support construction of 2 hospitals, one at Canal and the other at Korfulus in the county. Peter Machok reports.
In a statement, the South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation of Wolgajang Chief Whip in Jonglei State Legislative Assembly says the proposed hospital at Canal will serve the people in Canal Korwaj Payam.
The governor will not be able to do this by himself, but we appeal to our UN agencies and organizations to help on building this and support His Excellency the Governor.
PG County Commissioner Joe Selman Dengthon appreciated the state governor of supporting development in the area. He explained the deplorable experiences of the internally displaced person in their various centers and appeals for assistance from the national and state government.
لسه لاحت علينا المنظمات لسه ما ظهر لسه ما حصل لنا ورسلنا كلامنا بدي عشان يقدر يجيب معنا المنظمات الدوليه والمنظمات العالميه عشان يقدر يجيب معنا عشان يقدر يساعدونا يقدر يساعد الشعب بتاعي. انا الشعب بتاعي قاعدين في شجاب والمطر كبي وشم يدقي والمليلير فيه.
In Korfulus Payam, Simon Nyongmijog, member in the State Legislative Assembly, says people in the area welcome the support from the state governor for proposing hospital. The hospital will be significantly relieve the growing demand for early services in the region, especially in Korwaj Central.
أدابت الزيارة كان في توجيه واضح من قبل حاكم ولاية جنجلة الدكتور ريغايكوك على إنه ينشأ مستشفى لشمال ولاية جنجلة والمستشفى تقع في منطقة خورفلوس بالذات. لذلك كان لابد من أعضاء برلمان إنه يجي يزور شعب مقاطع فيجي.
The people at Gokjak Central in Wunalempayam of PG County are asking for stable security to safeguard farming activities. Monsieur Matong Lem, member in the State Legislative Assembly, says the mission to the county is to assess the development program which will benefit the host community and the internal displaced person from Niral. These displacement persons have been accommodated in the area for the last 2 years. He delivered the peace message from the governor, Dr. Guy Cook, to the people.
يعمل مستشفى في مقاطع شمال لكل مقاطع 3 فيجي ونيرول وبانجاك وجزء من الأبناء تايور القاعدين في شمال الولاية. ده واحد. نمرة 2 جايبين رسالة برضو الوحدة المواطنين بتاعنا الموجودين في شمال الولاية، أكثرهم مواطنين بتاع بيام قاعدين في بيام جوجياك، مقاطع بتاع النيرول النزح السنة اللي فات وصول الأمطار الأحسن ومجاعة الأحسن في المنطقة.
A floods, a recent conflict between the government and opposition group have affected the population in Fiji County. Most people have no access to basic resources for supporting livelihood. Water from the White Nile, the canal and the river Sobat is flowing through the region. But the people are yearning for peace and development, especially the tourism, irrigation and agriculture. Peter Machongo reporting.
And that story brings us to the end of our news tonight. We thank you for joining us. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of the program. On behalf of the team, I am Akuch Maker, and bye-bye for now.